Don't wrestle with pigs. You're going to get dirty. And besides, the pig likes it. There was this one video, don't take the mask off a covert narcissist, just run. It's got 3.5 million views. It came right after this major mind-blowing breakthrough in my own understanding of my SLDD. And I like to share with you this story because I think people will relate not only to the story, but on the video. My understanding of codependency or self-love deficit disorder skyrocketed when I was able to identify that it was created by my family. And I was able to identify and create theory to explain that, in any given family where you're raised by a codependent and a narcissist, there is a high 90% probability that if you have a narcissistic parent and a codependent parent, you're going to be one or the other. And at about the time my mom was dying, and I write about this in my book, in my first chapter of Human Magnet Syndrome, all of a sudden, because my mom was the strong codependent that kept the family together, because she wanted us to love each other and this, that, and the other. And she had cancer and was dying. And she was giving away all her jewelry and gold, and she had a lot. My mom was a little bit on the glitzy side. And I was the only kid who valued her life in the relationship while she was alive more than any material object. So I said, you know what, I'll just wait. I'm in no hurry. Where what I didn't realize was everyone behind the scenes was making deals with my dad, who would distribute thousands of dollars of diamonds and gold. And there was something my mom offered me, and I didn't want to ask for it until she had passed because it didn't feel right. And when she passed, I realized my dad was going to give me nothing. My dad is a pathological narcissist who I basically confronted about his selfishness, his arrogance. And as everyone knows, if you do that to a narcissist, there is not a good outcome. And that was about the end of our relationship. And I didn't get anything. And yet I was the family's codependent. I took care of my parents. I took care of my siblings. And every SLD has the same story. And I started to realize that every time I would confront someone, because I classify SLDD or codependency in personality types. And I'm not going to go over those now, but I was the active SLD or the active codependent that was, assertive and tried to control people, but couldn't. And I would try to hold people accountable and confront them about lying and cheating. And they were so good at pushing my buttons, I would lose my temper. And I would confront them, and there would be arguments, and I would feel cheated and lied to. And then they would say to me, this is exactly why Dad didn't give you the money. Look at you. You're such a blah, blah, blah. No one likes you. And then I would lose it. And it hit me in all of this anger and rage of injustice. My whole life, I just tried to do the right thing. And the people that were liars and cheaters were taking everything. It hit me in this moment that I was trying to take the disguise off of all of these narcissists. And it was that action that compelled them to try to destroy me. Because like any other covert narcissist or sociopath, they survive by pretending to be nice and likable. And they manipulate that into a job, into a personality type that makes people like them. And if you should try to take that away from them, they will do anything they can to hurt you. And I was using all of my very refined efforts, just dysfunctional, to try to expose them. I had this evidence and that evidence. And what I was doing was I was giving them ammunition to try to destroy me. And it hit me. I am, this is one that the saying by George Bernard Shaw, don't wrestle with pigs, you're going to get dirty. And besides, the pig likes it. And this is when I realized it was my fight that justified the narcissist harm. They were able to push my buttons to get me to be mad, angry, and then use that against me. And this moment where I realized the only way that I could ever protect myself, and I have air quotes here, I fight back, is to not be emotionally antagonized, not try to get something from someone who will not give it to me, to understand that they have every reason in the world to do anything to protect their reputation. And then that's when I just stopped. I just realized how futile it was to try to prove the narcissist is bad or wrong, to try to catch them, to try to exact justice, vengeance, that all I was doing was making it worse for me. And they, using that George Bernard Shaw thing, they were getting me to wrestle with them. And they were these professional wrestlers, like the pig in the saying, love to get dirty. And so in this video, I talk about many things, but I talk about the worst thing you can do is fight. Because would you fight a professional boxer because he took your money? Would you put on boxing gloves? No, you get your butt kicked. And the fighting itself will destroy you. You have to come to terms with it. You cannot beat them. You just have to run, take your licking, find a way to get over what you lost or what was stolen, and start your life over again. And that idea of the fight causing more harm than good really caught the world's interest. And from that, I was able to, just my personal understanding, I was able to grow to the next level and the next level to further talk about the different elements of how to get better, which is not to fight or argue, but is to get out. By virtue of fighting is to expose your weakness. You're not fighting, you're getting your butt kicked and you're exposing yourself. The fight is to detach. The fight is to emotionally detach, which I teach in my observe, don't absorb method or technique, is to detach from the dance, to understand that to have any type of interaction with them or to be induced in a conversation gives them the wherewithal and the ability to hurt you and to punish you. I owe so much of my success on YouTube at talking about narcissism and helping people. But after a while, I just got tired of it because I wanted to talk about what to do and how to heal. And so I made a pledge to myself, I'm just going to talk about self-love deficit disorder and how to overcome it through self-love recovery. And a colleague of mine in Australia said, people really want to hear you talk more about narcissism. And she twisted my arm, and it wasn't a very hard twist. And I decided this will be the last time I do a presentation on narcissism, and I'm going to do it as good as possible. And so it went from a 6-hour, one-day webinar to a 3-day, 18-hour webinar, because I wanted people to understand narcissism from the perspective of what it really is, how it impacts you, so that you can have that information become healthier and stronger and more resistant, either if you're in the relationship or outside. And the first part is everything you need to know about narcissism, narcissistic people, and what they do to pull you in, gaslighting, etc. The second part, 6 hours of information, is what happens between the narcissist and the SLD and the codependent that allows the narcissist to entrap a person. What do they do, and what does and what is going on with the codependent? And the third is the solutions, the tools, and the techniques to extricate yourself from these relationships, to solve the problem in order to move beyond the narcissistically abusive person. And if anyone's interested in my full-length educational seminars, or wanting to get psychotherapy from me, or anything that I do or promote, just go to the website selfloverecovery.com.